Good morning. Sometimes the political leaders wake up, and that's a good sign when the political leaders wake up to the new reality. As the government of India, Canada has woken up to a new reality of cyber war. The new normal in warfare is the cyber war. And when these attacks can come from outside and from inside by the fifth columns, we are always in a panic about the cyber attack because it's invisible. But if the international conflicts are unavoidable, then cyber attack is the new way of wrecking a country, destroying its economy. There's a new kind of war that transcends the typical declaration of war that we had in the past. In cyber war, the war is never declared, yet it's an investment that began decades ago. And that is the new warfare. There are no rules, there are no regulations. But more than 140 countries have a cyber weapon development system and a cyber development program, making the battle much larger and more diverse than the traditional warfare. The purpose of war until the recent decade was to greatly damage the country's human and economic resources until the enemy is defeated and has lost the ability to fight. This has been achieved with the military gear based on weapons that we have been using them. The clear-cut declaration of hostility. The international law, the Geneva Convention, were allowed to ensure what is allowed and what is forbidden, to retain some human aspect of the law. But cyber warfare is an ongoing warfare, as I said, never declared, and no laws bind it. You steal as a crime organization or as a state-operated organization, your opponents, your enemies seek trade secrets, create ongoing economic problems and instability, leading to political instability and downfall of the government. In the case of democracies, the intervention in political and economic institutions can create havoc, not only with the economy, but also with the political system. Least of all, you can plant malware that can be used as real weapons in case of a real conflict by playing havoc with, for example, your GPS, your satellite system, your system of communication, and so on. And you know what is happening is that with the development of artificial intelligence, you can manipulate networks, you can manipulate devices in unthinkable manner, and technologically, we are at a problem. Now, one country is number one in preparation for the cyber warfare, and that is Israel. Israel army has very real army equipped with the best arsenal of software. They recruit the young, intelligent people, choose the best, and put them in challenging, competitive environment where innovation is the name of the game. The West, except for this country, Israel, is lacking behind. You would be shocked that the awareness at the score one was tested, how the countries are best prepared. USA, which is supposed to be the best, the score is 0.824. Canada is 0.794. Australia 0.765. And Israel 67.089. That is the equation. So, barring China, Russia, and Israel, China and Russia are at about 48 and 56 respectively. But I was very happy to know that the government of Canada has woken up. As I said earlier, for the first time the Liberal government has done something really worthwhile. And the first new cyber operator jobs are there in the Canadian military. As a matter of fact, the public recruitment for the new cyber operations would not be there till 2019. 2019 is a crucial date, is an election year. So the government will come up with a bang. The decision has been taken, but they'll come with a bang in 2019, about a couple of months before the declaration of the order of elections, so that the ideas are fresh in the minds of the people, and they say, okay, we have confidence in Justin Trudeau and his party, let's vote for them. USA last year ordered a cyber operation regiment, though the awareness was 0.89. Still, they ordered an operation because they realized from Israel that we have to be prepared. And especially when the Russian intervention came to light, then, the new government, which again has not become public, as Canadian operations have not become public. And Canada has taken a march over USA in this way. Though the public recruitment will not be there till 2019, already the cyber operations are in position. On October 12th, the first platoon of the cyber operators was sent for training to Israel to build up cyber capabilities. So the result would be that the Canadian forces, like the nascent US regiment, would move from defensive to offensive cyber operations against the enemies who might try to use technologies against them. As part of that operation, the new role is there, the cyber operators, and they have more assertive military cyber operations. The Department of Official says that the process took place over the summer and the first operator positions have been fulfilled, as I said, on October 12. But they have not said how many people have actually been earmarked for this job. The internal inauguration will take place on November 3, and then we will know how many actually are. This is the second Canadian Armed Forces wide selection process, and minimum anti-standards will soon be made public to the people. But one thing is sure, that in May 2018, the first regiment will be fully operational. They are still not operational, they have been recruited. And then in the summer of 2019, the public recruitment will start. And that is an opportunity for the young people of Canada. Because do you know, the starting salary would be $67,392 with the rank of corporal. As soon as you join there, you are a corporal. And the starting salary is $67,392, and that is net salary. The perks of the military are different. Of course, the people would have to have the capability of standing up or sitting up to 4 hours at a time, using very small tools, coping with stress management, and working for 16 hours a day. Now, if USA and Canada are gearing up, Russia and China are already there. Israel is number 1, followed by Russia, followed by China, USA, Canada. Where is India and Pakistan? Nowhere. India, with this pool of capabilities, should have been the leader. But it is not. And the reason for this is simple. The government of India still has not taken into consideration the possibilities of the damages of the cyber warfare, which it should have. As a matter of fact, Department of Science and Technology should have been awake to the possibilities of the cyber attacks and the cyber crimes from forces inimical. Now, the point to be considered is that the old-fashioned ways, you call for, a hostile unit is there. Either you send the troops to blow up or an airstrike. But then that can have serious implications. You need a declaration of war, worsening tensions, even a political disaster if your troops are killed, your airstrikes fail. Here it is, you are sitting hundreds and thousands of miles away and manipulate the machines that those forces hostile to you are using. The capability is that they might also turn the weapons of war against their own soldiers, against their own citizens. So the physical war would still be there, but the change would shift and the primary consideration would be given to the cyber warfare. If you look at the history of the war, it's quite interesting. Earlier it used to be a hand-to-hand fight, then throwing of the stones, then the lances and the bows and the arrows. Then gunpowder came into being, and that changed the very nature of the war. And it was the Britishers who were leading the charge and captured all the world, basically. And then, came the naval war, naval ships. Then came the airstrikes. Then came the drones, unmanned vehicles. And now it's a cyber warfare. So this is a gradual development and evolution of the war. And the countries which have been at the forefront have been the countries which could cope up and took advantage of the innovation and the technological process in their warfare activities. India lost to Alexander because they had the horses and the Indians were fighting on elephants and they trampled their own army. Now here, the brains of the elephants would be turned against them. All good tanks, aircraft are computer operated. Now, if those computers are penetrated, you can well imagine the havoc you cause to your own country. And therein lies a need of cyber warfare, both in defensive as well as in the offensive situation. So what happens is when you have a cyber attack against a facility, it's invisible and therefore less risky. It had taken a long time to hack into the facility system. But if you create an email virus, I was sitting with some friends some time back, and one of the experts delineated to me how the cyber attack can take a shape. And that's just one scenario. You disguise it as a malware in an official United Nations email to help ensure that it reaches all the heads of the states, because UNO mails will go to all the heads of the states and the heads of the government. And once that email is opened, the malware will spread automatically down on the capital's network until it finds the energy grid and is able to disable its controls and overload the transformers. So whole electricity grid is gone. And can you imagine a life without electricity today? That's why I say that it's a great thing that the government of Canada has woken up to this reality. And there's a need for the countries who are likely victims of terror attacks and also fear their enemies on other borders to wake up so that they are not only defensive, but if need is there, they can be offensive as well. Cyber warfare has come to stay. It's only 5 countries at present who are fully geared, or partly geared. Fully geared are 3. 2 are in the process of being geared. Other countries have to ensure that they do not lag behind. It's not a question of living up to Jones. It's not up to the level, a matter of if they have it, we have to have it. It's not us versus them. It's us versus us, defensive. Until and unless your systems are so impenetrable and your enemy fears that you can do the same thing, immediately strike back with a greater force in the cyber attack without any declaration of war, they'll think twice. And secondly, you need the protective custody all the time, the protection from the cyber warfare all the time. Because cyber warfare, as I said, is both offensive and defensive. You need innovation. Until and unless you are fully equipped and you are innovatively devising all the moves and the counter moves, you are a failure. Hope Canada's waking up to reality will also enable other countries to follow. And Canada, by capability, in case they have it, I don't know, we'll see how far they are developed. Software is one thing, but the ability to penetrate and hack is another. And that is a major aspect. First is building firewalls for your system, and second is ability to hack into the others. But anyway, a good beginning. Thank you.